Hey there, the Salon Doctor here, and this subject is, I want to chat with you about this real quick here. I'm going to try to get this out tonight, and when you see this on YouTube, you should really check this out very quickly because of what's going on around us. And of course, the big thing that is going around is the coronavirus, and it's terrible, obviously, and it's messing up a lot of people's lives, and could also be messing up some of our tanning business. We've had a couple of calls from clients that customers have said, I don't know that I want to tan. I don't want to go in and lay down in that bed because I'm not sure who's been in there before, and I'm worried about this virus. We don't know where this virus is going to go, and it may all be done by May, who knows, April, who knows. But here's the thing. This is an opportunity to talk about how you should handle a situation like this. So give me a few minutes here and let me tell you what we're advising our tanning salon clients. And part of it is, the big part is your social media reach. If you've got a strong, active social media reach, this is the kind of thing that you can get to your customers on and reassure them. Now, people will say, well, when you talk about reach, John, what are you talking about that we should be putting on our social media? And I'm going to go through that in a minute. But basically, if you look in the lower left-hand corner there, all issues are women's issues. And so what we tell our people on their social media is go after on your content that you put out there women's issues. We're 95% of our customers are women, so duh, we should probably go after women's issues. Now, does that mean that that's all we do and we don't advertise? Of course not. But just like any advertising, whether it used to be in print years ago or traditional electronic like television and radio, whatever, and your email and particularly your social, a lot of the importance of what you're doing is to expand the reach. And this is something that actually in this coronavirus situation could actually help you in this. So let's talk about this. I guess we call it women's issues and what we're going to do. So Facebook, Instagram, obviously these are two of the most powerful social media platforms that are out there. There's been a little bit of transfer over now to Instagram for younger tanners, but there's an enormous growth in Facebook from older generation people. So let me go through a couple of things. And the first question that we have is, why do most salons, individual or chain, not maximize their potential with social media? I know, hold on, I'm going to talk about coronavirus in a second here. And the answer is a number of things. First of all, most salons, individual chains, do not maximize their potential with social media, and it is because the answer is there's no real strategy. So over this last year, we've dealt with 115 or 120 individual tanning salon companies that have been coming to us. Lots of single salons, but chains as well. And chains that we've been dealing with for years are now coming to us and saying, well, what do we do about social media? How do we expand it? They're starting to realize that their social media, in many cases, isn't anywhere near what it should be in terms of audience reach. Part of the problem is, like I said, there's no real strategy. What it is they throw it against the wall and they hope that it mushrooms and gets engagements and shares and friends and all that kind of thing. The other thing is that there's no understanding of their audience. Now, let's talk about audience, and I'll mention this in just a minute here. Why do people get on social media? It's called social media for a reason. Why anyone would care to go on social media to see if their friend went to the store to get a jar of pickles, I don't understand that. Of course, I'm an old dog, so I don't understand it at all. But I do understand this. Millions of people use social media. I think what it is that there was a paradigm at one time that everyone wanted their 15 minutes of fame. That's not the way it is today. Everybody wants their 15 seconds of fame. So they're doing things on social media that seem innocuous, particularly to old farts like me. Why would you even want to put that out there? Well, who cares? Well, apparently a lot of people care. And so a lot of people want to get that reinforcement. One of my earlier mini webinars that I did for everyone on YouTube was talking about the National Association of Self-Esteem. And we're seeing, particularly among females, again, this is going to be one of those women's issues that we talk about, is particularly low. And so what do? They get on social media to reinforce who they are. I'm not criticizing women of all ages for doing that. Women, I think, have a much tougher time in our society as far as getting reaffirmation than we as men. It's just the way that it is. We put standards on women that we don't put on men. So not that I would ever be looking for another mate. There's no way I want that, not at this age. But I would have a better chance of getting another mate if, for God forbid, I would lose my wife, my love of 30 years. If I were to lose her, I would have a better chance of finding another mate than a woman my age, obviously, okay? So, but anyway, we have to understand, chains have to understand, and single salons have to understand who the audience is. The other thing is that, and this is a big one, most people that I talk to in the tanning industry, so all I do is 6.5 days a week, they have the wrong people in charge of their social media strategy. They typically will take some young person, 18, 19, 20 years old, that they feel is really good at navigating Facebook and is very active themselves personally on Facebook. Oh, they must be an expert on social media. So let's have them in charge of it, and we'll pay them another $50 a month or something like that. And that is just crazy. It is crazy because, first of all, it's like, let's take all this money we've invested in a salon or a chain and hand it over to people that walk through the door that are in high school or just out of high school, or whatever, and hand the reins of the salon over to them when we've got $300,000 to $400,000 invested in build out and equipment and whatever. It doesn't work for salespeople, and it sure as heck doesn't work for social media people. All right, so you may have a niece, you may have a a daughter or whatever that, oh, mom, I know Facebook, I know Instagram, I can handle this, whatever. The problem is they don't have the maturity, and they certainly don't have the business mind, because if they do, they're going to start to collect metrics on who they're getting to and how often they're getting to. And most people don't do that. I have seen salon companies where the owners were very, very bright in many ways, and were successful for many years. And they hand it over to somebody, mainly because that owner doesn't understand the social media platforms themselves. And we tend to, particularly as older people, we tend to avoid things we don't understand, particularly in this technology age. For any of you that are anywhere close to my age, I remember we were using slide rules. They put somebody on the moon using slide rules, but that's not the case today. Technology has gone bananas. And for me, it's difficult. I have to keep up with technology. I've got people on my staff that keep me smarter on technology. But that's not the case with a lot of owners. They don't understand it. They hand it off to some young person because they think they understand it from a business perspective, and that's not the case. So if you really want your social media platform, so you're reaching a big and bigger audience all the time, getting more engagements and more shares and that kind of thing, so you're prepared to take advantage of a public women's issue like right now, the coronavirus. If you want to do that, you've got to learn from this whole thing that you can't take some 19-year-old. I know this sounds like I'm attacking every 19-year-old in the world, but I've said it many, many times. If you think about your own maturity when you're 18 years old and when you're 25, it's what we have called a maturity table. The maturity goes up dramatically in that period of time. So if you got to somebody that was graduated with a degree, whatever, in social engineering or that sort of thing, and they really understood it and could demonstrate to you that they could understand it, maybe that's a good shot at it. But taking somebody that is not understanding, and I've got a large chain right now that is using a woman. She's older than 18 or 19 years old, but they said, okay, you're going to manage a couple stores, plus you're going to do our social media platforms. It doesn't work. social media and building an audience, you have to have somebody concentrating on that and somebody that you're overseeing. So, and that brings me to the next point, is that there's no monitoring of the numbers of success, what you're going to do with anything. I mean, just think about what you do when you talk about PTA, LPA, PCA, all of the relative metrics numbers that we use to know that our salons are doing better and the individual employees are doing better. You're looking at numbers. You've got numbers there for them to look at. Not that they always look at it like they should. And so you're overseeing, they're overseeing to make sure that they are looking at those numbers. No one's looking at I can absolutely assure you, even some of the biggest chains. Well, I'll take that back. Huge chains. Let's call them Palm Beach and Suntan City and Brian Hibbert down in Florida, Mike Bloor out in California. Believe me, they have a professional social media platform manager looking at that stuff, and they're building their audiences all the time. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to have those kind of stores. You can have a single store and you can do a much better job with it, but do yourself a favor. Don't take all of this that is so important to you in building your audience and hand it over to somebody like that. Now, of course, I'm exaggerating, but I have clients that are very bright people, entrepreneurs that have got many salons, and even those that have got single salons that are a single salon that's had one just a week ago doing $450,000 in a year, one salon, and don't know beans about social media and has handed it over to some 20-year-old gal that's a college student, doesn't have time for this. Plus, that college student belongs to a sorority. She's got 16 different masters she's trying to, um, take care of in her life. Now, I know this is an exaggeration looking at this person, and I know that most people would say, well, John, you're awfully down on millennials. Yeah. Okay, so can remember, I have 4 grown children, I have 12 grandchildren, and through all of the salons I deal with, I guess metaphorically, I have hundreds and hundreds of children. And so, yeah, so now that was the first question that I asked before. The first question that I was saying is, why do most salons, individual chain, not maximize their potential of social media? So here's second question. And the second question is, so what does the creator of Facebook tell us about these questions? And this is really the most significant thing to remember. I had to learn it. I'm learning this stuff all the time about social media. I was a guy that grew up with vacuum tubes and a radio and a television, so I've had to learn this, and I've been dragged kicking and screaming into this technology age. So that's the second question. What does the creator of Facebook tell us about these questions? The third question is, what does all of this have to do with coronavirus and my salon? So I'm going to come back to that in a second. So the fourth question is, what does this have to do with the statement, all issues are women's issues? Well, let me stop on question number 4 just for a moment here. I had a very bright person tell me this about 6 months ago. When you're talking about issues that affect tanning salons, all issues are women's issues. And if what you're doing is not going after that and building your audience, you're making a big mistake. So let's get down to, come back to some of that stuff. Let me go to talk now about the coronavirus outbreak. It's only one of many women's issues. I could sit here and I can give you 25 different women's issues that we help our clients to build their audience with. And if you want to know about this stuff and you want me to help you with that, then you gotta get to me. Okay, so it's just one. And right now, can you think of anything? Maybe 2 months from now, if you look at this video, it won't be the case. I hope so. I hope so for all the people that have been victims of this. But can you possibly think of a woman's issue? Not that coronavirus is not a men's issue as well, but particularly women, their mothers, their daughters, their grandmothers, or whatever, and they're victims of coronavirus. They could be victims of coronavirus themselves, and everybody is worried about this. I'm supposed to go on salon tours this week, and I'm canceling my flight because I'm a little bit concerned about itself. I'm in that old, really vulnerable stage, even though I think I'm pretty healthy at 73,000 years old, I'm still worried about it. So Your customers are passionately aware of this. It's all over the news, everywhere you look. And there's a crescendo. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger all the time. My grandson is graduating this May from Johns Hopkins University. Johns Hopkins with his master's degree. This is all they're talking about. And they're canceling in-class sessions. It's all going to be online until like the middle of April, and he graduates in May. So this is a huge problem right now. Okay, so hold on to that. So your social growth strategy, social media, but growth strategy in social media should concentrate on women's issues and not just selling tanning services. I have preached this now for the last 5 years. You've got to build an audience. Just because Facebook or Instagram are relatively free to work with and that you can post anything that you want doesn't mean that it's great and you can do any and that's going to be effective for your salon. If you listen to the lesson that we got from the original Jurassic Park when Lorna Dern, whatever her name was, she said to the famous doctor that created all those dinosaurs, she said, just because there's something you could do doesn't mean you should have done it. And in this case, what's happening is, we're just taking Facebook and we're throwing anything out there, and we're wondering why people don't stay with us on their social media platforms, because there's not relevant content. So what does, in terms of relevant content, Mark Zuckerberg, who is the creator of Facebook, this guy, as of the end of last year, is worth 82 billion with a B, $82 billion. Now, he's a pretty bright guy. He's telling us, don't make more than 20% of your post on social media commercial. So if you continue to post a free tan day, or you've got a spray tan Wednesdays, half price, whatever, or that there's a special on a lotion or whatever. If you keep doing that, what you're going to do is you're going to turn off your audience. And right now, wouldn't it be great if you had triple, quadruple the social media audience that you currently have? Wouldn't it be nice if you had that? Because this coronavirus thing, this is an opportunity to take advantage. I'm not saying that this virus thing isn't terrible. I'm saying, but it is something that everyone is aware of right now. Just like some of the other women's issues. I mean, I could name a dozen women's issues right now that women are interested in damn near every day of their lives, particularly this year in politics. Wow, there are some women's issues, okay? But right now, the biggie is coronavirus. So let's get back to the virus question. If John can get his PowerPoint to work. Okay, but back to the virus question. The coronavirus breakout is an excellent opportunity to reassure your customer base that your tanning beds are the most sterile, clean pieces of tanning equipment in the business. If I had a single salon and I had to compete against a chain right now, or Planet Fitness, particularly, by the way, Planet Fitness, where the vast majority of Planet Fitnesses have 3, maybe 4 pieces of equipment. You have to clean your own bed. The way things are going right now, we've all at one time or another, with our own salons or whatever, went on an inspection or laid down in a bed and looked up in the overhead and saw dirty fingers or whatever, or you saw them down in there. Look, it happens sometimes that beds don't get clean, particularly we're in the peak season. And you hire a 16 or 17-year-old bed cleaner maybe, and this is a kid that would rather get that bed clean and get back on Facebook right away because they want to talk to somebody or talk to their boyfriend or whatever. Things happen sometimes that those beds don't get clean like they should. And Planet Fitness, if right now, if it were me, I wouldn't trust going into Planet Fitness and knowing that everything is going to be wonderful when I lay down in that bed. So this is your opportunity to tell your customer base, we are the cleanest, most sterile in town. Now, you could go on Facebook and you could show a little picture. This shows you the lady down there that's doing some cleaning. That was just a picture I took off of, a pic I took and threw it in there. You would have a better picture of one of your sales professionals or one of your cleaning bed professionals, you want to call them that, cleaning one of your beds. You'd also have the opportunity to talk about the materials that you use, the solutions that you use to clean. You'd also have the opportunity to talk about the process and the discipline that your people have in cleaning their beds. Let your customer base know that you are aware of what the issue is out there, but you're on it. Your game is on it, and you're going to make sure that your beds are clean and they don't have to worry about it. We have had some calls just in this last week where the salon client had said to me, John, I've got a couple of people that have said to me, how do I know that your beds are clean with this coronavirus? And of course, with this coronavirus, it's not just the tanning industry, obviously. Everybody is paranoid about everything. I got to admit, I'm a little paranoid. That's why I canceled my trip this week. So, all right. Here's really the point I'm trying to make. When there's a controversy as big as the coronavirus, or it's women's voting and what women are going to vote for, and the whole politics, or it is, women's abuse, whatever. I mean, there's so many. I got a whole list of them that I'll share with you. What you want to do is put little snippets on your social media that talk about it. Sometimes don't even talk about tanning at all. The message comes from you. It comes from them being on your Facebook that you're worried about spousal abuse. You're worried about breast cancer, whatever it is. Right now, it's coronavirus. So I say don't avoid controversy, embrace it. Jump up to give your customers reasons to be an active part of your women's issues content, such as the worldwide attention of coronavirus. They're shutting down the whole country of Italy. This is nuts. And not just another discount on what you sell. Your goal is to grow your audience reach. See, if you got a bigger audience, and then when you do send out an ad for a spray tan Wednesday, or for a free tan week, or for whatever it is, you got a whole heck of a lot more people engaged in it. That's the key. When you can increase your audience, you can increase your revenues through the times that you do advertise. Just again, I'm not making this up. Mark Zuckerberg himself said no more than 20% of your posts should be commercial. Okay, so, and then what we say is you want to grow your revenues, and what you're looking at, I like this little screenshot I took. Post on social ads and issue email that your salon beds are always sterile and safe to tan in, and not like, look at those colors. I wonder who that would be. Okay, so let me kind of finish up here. If you want to make your EFTs, social and traditional marketing, score bigger audiences and better direct sales, call me. I've been doing this for a long time. And I have people that are on my staff that are very good, very, very good with social media. I mean, no 19-year-olds on my staff. They're very good with social media and also SEO, search engine optimization, for your website. So you either call me or or send me an email. And the point is that I've been doing this, guys. This says 473 indoor tanning salons I've worked in, 473 tanning salon companies. No, really, it's a lot more than that. So I think as of today, we're 490 now. And again, my number and my email are there at the bottom of the screen. Just let me know how we can help you, and we will. And I hope that you're seeing this. And I hope you're seeing all the stuff that, particularly lately, we put on YouTube, because I don't want to change industries. I'm too damn old for that. I want you guys to be successful. So stay safe, and I hope you continue to get slammed with tanners. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.